Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Are we starting the 6th chapter today?
Yes, Prabhuji, we'll be starting the 6th chapter today.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Chandan here.
Chandan Prabhu, then Hare Krishna.
Sorry Prabhuji, I become late.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padatmadam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunatham Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Ladha Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Tanti Hari Priya Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Padmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Okay, so we will cover half chapter today. The acronym for the 5th chapter was STEP, and we finished with stay in this word 3 doers, equal vision. 3 doers we discussed. The root cause of all our suffering is this misuse of free will, because of which we engage in acts which are not good. And misuse of free will is because of ignorance. Ignorance is removed by knowledge. Knowledge comes by serving the Supreme Lord, faith and shelter of the Supreme Lord. Once we come to knowledge, then we develop equal vision. Then we can see an ant, an insect, a fly, a dog eater, as they're all part and parcel of the Lord. And then in that equal vision, one does not, um, um, there is no hatred or um, attachments. Um, one don't promote someone or one don't hate someone, kind of. He has no enemies of rights, kind of. So equal vision, and finally the last topic we discussed was peace formula. And 3 aspects of peace formula. The Lord is the enjoyer, we enjoy by giving pleasure to Krishna. Um, if our life becomes, if our life activity is dedicated in such a way that we are giving pleasure to the Lord, we become very happy and peaceful. Mm. Then we are not the proprietor. Everything belongs to Krishna, and whatever we are doing, I am working on behalf of Krishna. But there is no results, or nothing belongs to me. Um, mm, Whether it is proprietorship does not only mean a property. Proprietorship means anything does not belong to me. The body is given by Krishna so that I can realize Him and go back to Him. The intelligence is given by Krishna. The time is given by Krishna. The understanding, everything is given by Krishna. And they are meant to be used in His service. Mm. And that is a perfect use of everything we have, is to use everything in the service of the Lord. Then, and that's how we become happy also and peaceful. So this is another substance of peace formula. And the third is he is a friend of all living entities. Um, Naturally, the nature of this world is um, there will be difficulties. At the same time, our own shortcomings um, can create anxiety for us. For example, we may not like someone, we may envy someone, someone's success or growth, etc. Lust may attack, anger may attack. So all these situations will attack because of our own shortcomings, and the nature of this world is everything is temporary, everything goes away. So when we take shelter that Krishna is my friend and he will help me, then immediately Krishna helps. And how we beg for help is we intensely take shelter of the holy name of the Lord and pray to Krishna, my Lord, please help me. And if you intensely do that with a sincere desire, please remove the obstacles so I can come closer to you. Then Krishna, as a best friend and closest friend, will help you, and you will be able to still live peacefully in spite of being in the material world with all the shortcomings. You can very peacefully practice Krishna consciousness. If we can take shelter of the Lord, um, that works even if somebody in the office is giving us problem, somebody in the family is giving us problem, whatever be the situation, pray intensely, chant intensely, and depend on Krishna for help. Then everything will be all right. So that was the peace formula. Now coming to the sixth chapter, Bhagavad Gita is divided into three sections: chapter 1 to 6, and then chapter 7 to 12, and 13 to 18. 1 to 6, um, prelude to Bhakti Yoga, speaks about Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. And sixth chapter establishes the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga over all other practices of yoga. That will be the topic of discussion next week. Um, Today's topic of discussion will be Ashtanga Yoga, which is the kind of the beginning focus of the chapter. And next week, 7 to 12, we cover Bhakti Yoga. Arjuna was constantly asking Krishna if he can somehow escape from this very difficult activity of killing his own cousin brothers, grandfather, and teachers. Um, um, and Krishna says, well, if you don't want to perform Karma Yoga for my pleasure, then there is another path which is Ashtanga Yoga. But Arjuna, this path is not for you and it is not going to be easy. And that's why this contradictory word is used, easy. But the path is not easy. So, E stands for enemy or friend. A stands for Ashtanga Yoga. S stands for success or failure. And Y stands for Yogi. Okay. Now, E stands for enemy or friend. So the beginning of the chapter, Krishna addresses and talks about mind. Um, there are the mind is a storehouse of thoughts. Many different kind of thoughts strike our mind on daily basis. Somewhere I heard scientists say 60,000 thoughts per day. I really don't know. I've never counted. Neither can I count. But lot of thoughts. But one thing is there. If you become a devotee of the Lord, the thoughts will keep on reducing. Pure devotee has only one thought, Krishna. How can I serve Krishna? He has no other thoughts. So among these thoughts, some thoughts are ordinary thoughts, like what should I cook today, what is going on in the environment, what is the situation outside, etc. Then there are waste thoughts. Waste means we waste our energy, we lament, and we can't do anything about it. Like a past event. Um, I said something to somebody, oh, I should not have done that. Now, what can you do now? Think about how to handle it. So these are waste thoughts. That person said like that to me, and what can you do now? Work on solution. By meditating on the problem, it will simply going to create your own anxiety, nothing else. So these are called waste thoughts. Some thoughts are negative thoughts. Negative thoughts arises because of like it. Negative thought can be envy. That person misbehaved, so I really don't like that person. And um, mm, the moment that negative thoughts come in our mind, the moment we meditate on it, the whole environment is filled up with negative energy. Like recently, I was talking to one family, and the the lady in the family, Prabhuji and Mataji, the wife, she was having some really bad experiences with some devotees in India, and we were discussing about Krishna Katha. Everything was very nice. Then she asked some questions, and then she started describing about how the devotees um ill-treated her. And as she was speaking, the whole I mean, this is Zoom. I am not even personally present there. I could feel such strong vibrations. And I asked her, did you notice? She said, what did I notice? I said, did you notice um, the positive vibrations, the spiritual energy, and our peaceful state of consciousness when we were discussing about Krishna? And did you notice how drastically the whole environment filled up with anxiety and tension the moment we started thinking about um, um, whatever negative emotions you had? She said, yeah. I said, see, this is what happened. This is a practical proof that Krishna is giving us to understand. Keeping Krishna in the center in Krishna Katha, or things which are favorable, maintains a good consciousness. And then we again started discussing about um, how to handle the situation in a Krishna conscious way. And again, the environment was filled with peace and positive energy. So yeah, sometime. So I told her that let us make a deal that anytime we talk in the future or with your husband, you are not going to bring this topic out again, because if you do that, it will simply cause anxiety. Is there anything you can change now? Maintain distance. No need to go. Um, if you know something is not working out, no need to push yourself in that direction. Uh, but why are you allowing them to impact your Krishna consciousness today for something that happened 3-4 years back? And things made sense. So this is one kind of thought which are negative thoughts. Then another kind of thoughts are positive thoughts. like humility, gratitude, um, um, desire to serve others. They bring positive vibration in the environment. So that's the nature of the mind. It is filled with thoughts, and a devotee is conscious with what the mind is contemplating or meditating on. Okay. Uh, would devotees like to volunteer to help me read it?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well.
Hmm. So here is Krishna's instruction for us on how to use the mind. And he is telling one must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. Must means a very high degree is used. It's not say one should deliver. One should deliver means try your best. One must deliver means there is no second option. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The of mind is a friend and enemy. That's why this particular section of easy, E stands for enemy or friend, and the mind is both. Now, uh, this mind is what really makes spiritual life difficult. Um, the nature of spirit soul is Anandamayo
అమ్మ నూనె పెట్టి మసాజ్ చేస్తా కొంచెం రేపు పొద్దున్న తలస్నానం చేస్తా
Nature of the spirit soul is Anandamayo Bhyasat. Anandamayo Bhyasat means pleasure seeker. The living entity is seeking pleasure all the time. Um, when we come to this material world, because of the false ego or false identification, we identify with the body and we start seeking pleasure on the level of the body. And we do so many things at the platform of the body to seek pleasure through the places we visit, the things we eat, the people we associate, etc. Always constantly looking for what will give me pleasure. And every single time we derive some pleasure from uh, um, a place, food, or person, it forms samskaras. Samskaras are deep impressions, uh, deep impressions from the past. We have negative samskaras, positive samskaras. Negative samskaras, somewhere I did not had a good experience. Positive samskaras, somewhere I had a good experience. Because the living entity is so eager to search for happiness, he tries to repeat the positive samskaras. Those positive samskaras, it can be going to a nightclub every single night. It's a samskara. Some positive samskara does not mean it's a relative term. Positive samskara for a person, positive samskara does not mean what is actually scripturally right or not. Positive samskara means where I found happiness, and that becomes a samskara for me. So for me, positive samskara is something that gave me happiness in the past, and for me, negative samskara is something that gave me misery in the past. And the mind encourages us to repeat the pleasurable experiences and avoid the miserable experiences. And when we hear from scriptures, many times uh, um, our samskaras contradict scriptures, and that samskara is nothing but the mind. So, um, um, for example, for example, um, we chanted 4 rounds today and we did not had a good experience because the mind was very distracted, we were very disturbed, we could not focus on the Lord, we could not concentrate on the names, and when we cannot concentrate, then chanting becomes not a happy experience. Now a samskara is formed and mind says, we want to chant, no, I don't want to chant. So this is mind. So when Krishna is telling one must deliver himself with the help of his mind, means uh, do the activities which are actually good for you and not based on what we think is good for you. And when the mind says something as bad which is actually recommended by the scriptures, then the mind is acting as our enemy. And when the mind says something is good, which are also mentioned in scriptures as good, then the mind is acting as our friend. Likewise, when the mind says, um, yeah, so we got the essence. So, so it's the mind, and it's relatively easy when we come to Krishna consciousness. We start understanding that I'm not this body, and we kind of start acting on that platform, but it takes a lot of maturity to come to the understanding that I'm not the mind. I'm not the mind. Um, mm, I'm not the mind means whatever mind is telling, wherever it's attracted to, or whatever is telling to do, or whatever is telling not to do. Um, I'm not the mind means it doesn't matter what my mind is telling, but I will do what is right. Then we understand that mind is presenting thoughts and I'm different from the mind, and I have a free will to choose what I want to do instead of always thinking what my mind wants is what I want and doing what the mind says. So that's the principle. So here Krishna is telling one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. Now, one example of mind acting as a friend when it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, and mind says, get up, get up, get up, get up and chant your rounds. Then the mind is acting as our friend. Means what is mentioned in scriptures is what mind is telling us to do. Then you are fortunate. But if the mind says, so difficult, I don't want to do later, sometime, and oh, it's so difficult, then the mind is kind of acting as an enemy. But at the same time, the solution is to go against the mind, um, and do the thing which is the right thing, and the taste will come. Like Srila Prabhupada says, one weapon that can be used, or one technique that can be used to train the mind, is neglect. Whatever mind says, if it is not favorable, we have the free will to neglect it. Just like um, nothing in this world is good or bad. Like a knife can take a life, a knife can save a life. If it is a surgeon, it can save a life. Surgical, it can take a life. Likewise, everything can be used in good way or bad way. Nothing is actually good or bad. Depends upon how we use it. Like a mobile, it's neither good neither bad. It can be used for good. It can be used to degrade. It can be used to elevate. Laptop can be used to degrade, can be used to elevate. Money that we earn can be used to degrade us, can be used to elevate us. Our association can be used to degrade us, can be used to elevate us. Nothing is good or bad, how we use it. Likewise, the mind can be used to degrade us or elevate us, depends upon how we use it. And Krishna is telling, please use the mind to elevate yourself. One nice example that comes is the example of Putana. So Krishna was born. Krishna was born. Um, 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 Krishna was born on Ashtami. Ashtami. It was not Ashtami means eighth day of the waning moon. Um, Ekadashi is 11th day. Ram Navami was 9th day of the waning moon. We say Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Ashtami. It was he was born on Ashtami. So, but on that particular day when Krishna appeared, um, the moon became ecstatic, and the moon became full moon on that day. Ashtami moon is not full; it's less than half. But on that particular day, moon became full, and from the heart of Devaki, uh, Krishna appeared and stood right in front of Devaki and Vasudev in a four-handed form with beautiful hairs and helmet and Kaustuba jewel, uh, and holding Chakra Gada Padma, beautiful eyes like lotus, full-fledged form of Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in a Vishnu Murti, Vishnu form. Vasudev saw, Devaki saw, they both uh, paid obeisances. Uh, and Vasudev offered beautiful prayers, and Devaki offered beautiful prayers. Vasudev was in awe, in reverence, in awe, because he was like astonished, because he was thinking, how could Supreme Personality of Godhead appear as our son? So he was astonished. Another thing uh, he was thinking was, what if Kamsa comes? Although he understood the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because there was so much atrocities Devaki and Vasudev went through, that it has installed intense fear in them, because already six child were born, and every time Kamsa would come and take the child and smash the child against a rock, and it would be bloodshed. And for a mother and father to see that with every son that was born to them, it was a nightmare. And it repeated events year after year, of such gruesome death personally witnessing, and the cruelties and atrocities of Kamsa has installed so much fear that when the Supreme Lord appeared, they were thinking, um, uh, my lord, please hide yourself. What if Kamsa comes to know? I was recently reading, I was surprised. I was like, wow, amazing. That shows what all pain they went through. Then after Vasudev offered beautiful prayers, Devaki offered beautiful prayers, and Devaki said, please take a form like a child and hide yourself, or do something so that Kamsa will not catch you. And then she came to her senses, and then she said, but you are the Supreme Personality of God. Who can kill you? You are the controller of all controllers. Beautiful prayers. And then Devaki prayed, uh, my Lord, you are uh, the fear personified. Death is afraid of you. So please remove our fear and allow us to engage in your service. Lot of gratitude both Devaki and Vasudev expressed. Then Krishna spoke in the form of Vishnu, and he said, well, you all were my parents in previous birth and previous to previous birth. Last to last birth, you were my parent as uh, Prishni. Devaki was Prishni, and Vasudeva Sutapa. And you perform under the instruction of Brahma a 1,000-year long sacrifice in the heavenly planets, eating only dry leaves, um, a intense austerity in the sun and in the winters, tolerating all circumstances, that I myself appeared to you to give you the benediction, and you wanted a benediction to have me as your son. And I gave you benediction that I will become your son 3 times. So in that life, I appeared as your son Krishna Garba. Krishna also says that although you became pure devotees of the Lord, you did not came to my abode because it was not your desire. Your desire was to have pastimes, or to witness me as your son, and to have pastimes with me as your son. So you did not came back to my abode. Then again in the next birth, uh, same Prishni and Sutapa appeared as Aditi and Kashyap Muni, and Vishnu appeared as Vaman Dev, the dwarf incarnation. And this incarnation, I personally appeared, who is the source of all incarnation, as Krishna. But because I did not appear as a child, so that to make you understand that I am the Supreme Lord, that's why I exhibited my four-handed Vishnu form. If I exhibit directly two-handed form, you will not know who I am. So I'm showing this form of yours, of mine. Then Krishna said, well, now I have a service for you. Um, Take me to Vraj, to Vrindavan. And Mother Yashoda has, exactly at the time I appeared, Mother Yashoda delivered a girl. Um, Exchange me with her. Take me and bring the girl back. Then by the potency of Lord's energy, all the um, doorkeepers and all the servants of Kamsa, including Kamsa, everybody fell asleep. Um, and the doors, because it's a jail, so all the doors lock open and all the gate opened wide. And um, Vasudev took Krishna on a basket and he started walking. Krishna then um, took his original form, two-handed form. He sat on the basket like a small child, and Vasudev started walking, but there was a mild rain. And as soon as Krishna walked out of the jail, Kamsa's jail, because of the mild rain, Sankarshan, who is Balram, who is also Balram, one of the expansion of Balram is Sankarshan, or Sheshanag, the thousand hooded Nag, snake, who is holding the all the planets on her hood. And he appeared, and Vasudev looked at it, इतना बड़ा नाग शेषनाग, and Sheshanag made obeisances. Vasudev understood. Today Krishna is acting. I don't have to do anything. So Vasudev kept walking, and the Sheshanag became like a umbrella. And as Vasudev was walking, Sheshanag was behind him to protect Krishna, to serve Krishna. When the Supreme Lord appears, the whole cosmic manifestation comes to serve him. Mother Yamuna became ecstatic. But because on that day, by the influence of Indra, and lot of rains were happening, um, and the water was overflowing, Yamuna water. But as soon as Vasudev started walking, the Yamuna started divided into two. So water is like this, and Vasudev is going right through the bed of Yamuna, through right to the middle of Yamuna, and the river Yamuna gave the way. So all these things happened, and finally uh, Krishna was taken to Vrindavan. Now, uh, um, after Krishna appeared, um, Yogamaya came back, and all the doors closed. Uh, the chains uh, that were bound to um, Vasudev bound themselves, and everything was as it is. And now uh, the baby girl started crying, "Eh!" And all the watchdog and the gatekeepers, they all got up. Eighth child has born, and they ran to Kamsa. It is said that as soon as he came back, Kamsa was wide awake, and Kamsa knew that the eighth child could be born anytime soon, and Kamsa was installed with fear. And Kamsa thought the time has come. The time has come to defeat my death. The time has come to kill the child who will be the cause of my death. And Kamsa ran to the jail to kill the child. And Devaki said, very beautifully, Devaki said, how uh, mm, by destiny of those child, they were put into death. Devaki did not find fault in Kamsa. She is a self-realized soul, so she knows that everything happens by our own past. So by destiny they were put to death, but um, um, the announcement by the demigods was that the eighth son will be the cause of your death. He is not a son; she's a daughter. Uh, you are such a nice man. How can you perform such a sin of killing my daughter? So Devaki really, really tried her hard to save the child from the wrath of Kamsa, this girl. Although she knew he is not my child, but because she's a pure devotee, she has affection for every child. Equal vision. How can you kill a daughter? You have already, all my sons have left me. Now she's a daughter. Um, Killing a woman, it is said in scriptures, the child, old people, um, deceased people, and women. Child, old people, brahmanas, and women must always be protected. Then, how can you kill a baby girl who is helpless? Uh, Kamsa said, "This is Kala, this is my death personified. Doesn't matter daughter or son, I will smash her to death right now." And the moment Kamsa took the girl Yogamaya to smash her against the rock, Yogamaya slipped from his hand and she took the eight-handed form of Durga. And then she told Kamsa, "You fool, the child who is supposed to be the cause of your death has appeared and is somewhere else. Now count your days, you fool Kamsa." And then nice interaction, some chastisement, and mm, uh, Yogamaya disappeared. Durga Devi disappeared. And Kamsa, when he heard the words of Yogamaya, he came to his senses what I was doing. And he fell at the feet of Vasudeva and Devaki, and with a very repentant heart. It is said that because of the association of Yoga Maya, from the words from that Sangha, Kamsa became purified, and Kamsa realized his mistake. And he still said, "Actually, I don't know why all these things happened. You are my little sister. I'm meant to protect you. How can I take such a demoniac role of killing my own real sister's sons? And Vasudeva, you are like my brother." And he repented, and then, "Please have faith. It was not me. It was another force acting on me. It should be considered as the destiny of their own child of the own sons. And now I free you." And he actually freed them. Uh, and then later on, he was repenting and he said, "Now I will become a very nice person." Kamsa thought like that. And then Kamsa's minister, they told Kamsa, "Kamsa, you are a fool. The child is going to be the cause of your death. The child is born elsewhere. Come to your senses. What are you doing? How can you be like this? Kill all the children who have taken birth within past 5 to 10 days. Kill all the children." And Kamsa, although became purified because of bad association of their ministers, Kamsa said, "Yes, you are right. I must kill all the children who have taken birth in past 5 to 10 days." And then Kamsa called one demon. Her name was Putana. And Kamsa told Putana, "I know you like eating and killing small innocent babies. Now I give you a service to your heart satisfaction. Kill all the children born within past 10 days." And Putna was very happy. So Putna smeared poison over her breast and her intention was to feed. Um, so far, Putna didn't know who is the child who will be the cause of death of Kamsa. Nor did Kamsa know. After Putna's activity, Narad Muni told Kamsa it's Krishna. But so far, Putna doesn't know. So Putna killed many, many children. And by the Yoga Maya potency of the Lord, all the children Putna killed were actually uh, demoniac. And they were mm, sons of the associates of Kamsa by the Yugma, and not even a single child of Vrindavan was killed. And Putana happened to go to Vrindavan, and she saw everybody glorifying Krishna. Then she understood this must be the child, and then she went back and smeared her breast with poison, and then she took a very beautiful form of a heavenly lady. And when she went, Nanda Maharaj was in Mathura, and Vasudev knew that Kamsa sense has uncontrolled senses and uncontrolled mind. Although he took a very humble position as a pure soul in front of us and released us, he will not be able to maintain that consciousness. It's artificial. So he will try to kill Krishna. Vasudev knew that. But Krishna took promise from Vasudev that he will not reveal this secret to Nanda, Yashoda, or anybody in your life. So Vasudev cannot say, my son is now your son. There is another twist that I will discuss maybe if time permits at the end. Uh, so Vasudev didn't say that. Then Vasudev said, there may be dangers in Vrindavan. Because Vasudev knew Kamsa will soon figure out, and Kamsa will try to. Vasudev knew how cruel Kamsa is. Kamsa is going to try to kill Krishna. So Vasudev told Nanda Maharaj, I request you return back to Vraj, to Vrindavan soon. There may be dangers. While this conversation was going on, Nanda Maharaj started walking with all other cowherd boys to Vrindavan. And at this point of time, Putana is already there in the house of Nanda Maharaj. And Mother Yashoda saw such a beautiful lady. She must not be a resident of earthly planet. She has to be a demigoddess, has to be a goddess from heavenly planets. Or maybe she is Lakshmi herself, the consort of Lord Vishnu. Whatever it is, she has come to benedict my child Krishna. And Rohini saw, and it was a festive mood because Krishna was born. It is said that Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj were very old in their 80s, and they were trying for a child for a very, very long time. And Nanda Maharaj was the king of Vrindavan, like Sarpanch kind of, the head of Vrindavan, the lead Gopa kind of. uh, and they had no son, and everybody loved Nandan Yashoda. And now the son is born, and son is so beautiful that as soon as he is born, everybody loved the son more than their own children. And everybody were like, as soon as Krishna was born, it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole world became peaceful. Out of fear of Kamsa, nobody could even ignite sacrificial fire, but all over the world sacrificial fire was there. The Brahmanas and cows became extremely joyful. The fear was gone, and they were peaceful, and their heart was filled with spiritual energy of the divine potency of the Lord. And when Krishna was born in Vraja, everybody's hearts were filled with um, unbounded happiness. And when they saw even the child is so beautiful, and this lady must have come to, and she said, I want to feed my own milk to your little child Krishna. And everybody thought it's such a benediction. So nobody stopped her. Yashoda did not stop, Rohini did not stop. She went straight into the room of Krishna, and Krishna was only 4 5 days old. And Krishna looked at her, and she came, And the moment Putana looked at Krishna, because Krishna is sitting in the heart of Putana, Putana developed fear. Yes, she has killed so many children, nothing happened. But the moment she looked at Krishna, Putana thought, be careful, you're playing with fire. And Krishna looked at her, and as soon as Krishna looked at her, Krishna closed his eyes. And our acharyas explained why did Krishna close his eyes. Our acharya explained because Krishna was thinking, the first demon I have to kill is a woman. This is the first demon I have to kill. And Krishna said, oh, okay, whatever. So, uh, um, so um, Putana uh, start breastfeeding Krishna, and her breasts were smeared with poison. And Krishna sucked the breast, Krishna sucked the milk, and Krishna kept on sucking. Now it is said that it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that Putana started experiencing unbearable pain to such an extent that Putana started yelling at Krishna and telling, leave me, child, leave me, child, leave me, child. And Krishna kept on sucking. And Putana ran out of the house and she took her original demoniac form, 8 mile long demoniac form. And she started running, and all the residents of Vrindavan were in awe. What's going on? Mother Yashoda was in great anxiety. Krishna, Krishna. I mean, the child is born 5 days back. They didn't have child. They are trying throughout their life, no child. She is in her 80s, and in 5 days, Putna attacked. She doesn't know Putna, but a demon attacked. Demon started attacking Krishna. Mm. And Putna started running, leave me child, leave me child, leave unbearable pain. She's trying to push Krishna. Krishna is holding her tight and sucking her life air. And Krishna sucked her life air, uh, and Putna fell down dead. And it is said that Putna, because 8 mile long demon, wherever she falls, uh, everything will be destroyed. So Krishna arranged in such a way that Putana, because she's 8 mile long demon, in one step, Putana can travel lot of miles. So in few seconds, Putana was in the property of Kamsa, and she fell down in the property of Kamsa, damaging the entire property. And Putna fell down dead. In the meantime, these Vrajvasis were running. So some of the Gopas, they climbed up Putana and then they saved Krishna. And Krishna was smiling. Then they burned the body of Putana, and the entire Mathura Vrindavan was filled with aroma of aguru, very, very beautiful aroma. And it is described here in Bhagavatam because Krishna sucked her milk. Because of the touch of Krishna, she became completely purified. And to such an extent that her body was on being burnt, uh, aroma was coming out of a guru. And Krishna, one of the qualities described of Krishna is um, Krishna is Adoksha Darshi. Krishna cannot see fault. So although Krishna knew he has to kill her, Krishna was thinking, she has come to offer his milk to me, and she has done some service to me. I must reciprocate. What can I do? She has rendered little service to me. How can I reciprocate? And then, as Krishna was thinking, Krishna thought, well, she has come to me in the form of a mother, so I should accept her as a mother. So Krishna gave Putana a form of an elderly gopi, like a mother in Golok Vrindavan. That is the mercy nature of Krishna. Even the demon like Putana, just because little service is rendered to Krishna, Krishna gave her the form of a mother in Golok Vrindavan. So, uh, um, I share this story just for one point, which I'm going to say now about the mind. And our acharyas explain Putana is compared to um, the mind of a conditioned soul. Now, just like Putana came in a beautiful form to offer her service to Krishna, likewise, to offer her service, likewise, the mind comes in a very attractive feature to us. Mind approaches us in a very attractive proposal. Can we enjoy like this, like that? Can we go there and enjoy? Can we go to that restaurant? Can we go to those movies? Can we watch these things? Can we enjoy here and there? So mind brings very beautiful proposal which seems like mind is such a friend of mine. He thinks of me so much. He knows my needs and he is coming me with solutions to fulfill those needs. I must embrace my mind. So that is Putana. Although she came with the intention to nourish, mind comes with an intention to nourish us. But what was the internal desire of Putana was to kill Krishna. Likewise, the mind come in disguise of a friend, but his actual intention is to um, further incriminate us with our attachments in this material world and further kill the desire of the soul to reunite and re-establish the soul's intimate relationship with Krishna. That's why the Uttara is compared to mind. So one must not trust one's mind. And Srimad Bhagavatam instructs us that uh, um, one must be very careful with the mind because even after practicing Krishna consciousness for many years, because the impurities are still there in the heart, anytime we become weak and start listening to the dictations of the mind, we enter into a danger zone. And for how long we have to be careful with the mind? Till the end of the life. We have to be careful with the mind. And okay, so coming back to this verse number 6.5, one must deliver himself with the help of his mind and must not degrade himself. If the mind is presenting something which is against Krishna consciousness, we must become expert in saying no. But if we are finding happiness in a Krishna conscious way and mind wants to do that, welcome it. Encourage the mind. Mind says, let us chant, of course. Let us eat some nice prasad, maybe gulab jamuns, alright, no problem. Why? It's Krishna prasad. But anything outside the realm of devotional service, one should be careful. I should not fulfill the demands of mind here. He is acting like an enemy. One should have that discrimination. Okay. Moving forward, we have maybe some time to finish these two sections. So this is called the chariot of life. The five horses are compared to the five senses. The rein or the rope is compared to the mind. The man in black, the driver, is compared to the intelligence. The chariot is compared to the body, and the man in white, the passenger, is compared to the soul. The soul is the passenger in this chariot, the body chariot, which has the senses, the mind, and intelligence. And the purpose of mind, intelligence, senses, and the body is to give a, a, a safe journey to the soul to take him back to destination, which is back home, back to Godhead. That is the purpose of the body, mind, intelligence, and the senses to take us back home, back to Godhead. Mm. But when our mind is uncontrolled, then we keep running after so many demands of the senses and we don't achieve much in life. There are other kind of people who have mind control, but they control the mind via material intelligence. um, like they don't eat much, they are very focused, and they don't waste time here and there, they get up early in the morning, and they have material, it's controlled by material intelligence, means their desire is, I want to become a businessman, I want to become rich, I want to become a politician, I want to become this or that, uh, general manager, CEO, etc. So they are very focused, they control their mind, they work very hard. In spite of mind giving so many desires for self gratification, they neglect those, focus in their duties, but they gain material success, they gain some success in this world, but everything is lost at the time of death. So they are not considered very intelligent because they are running after something that's not going to be with them anyways. It's just working so hard for few years of entertainment and then back to square zero. So they are not considered very intelligent. And other people, they control their mind via spiritual intelligence. Their goal is one, going back to Godhead, realizing our relationship with Krishna, um, um, reawakening that intimate relationship we have with the Lord. And they control their mind for those purposes. They attain the overall success and they progress in life. Now, this is the last section for today. It's called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashta. Ashta means eight. Anga is limbs. Ashta Anga means eight limbs. And these eight limbs are beginning with yamas. Yamas means things not to do. So there are some people, they go to Himalayas and other mountains like these yogis. Their purpose is also to realize themselves. They want to make spiritual advancement. That's why they take such forms. So they have their own way of making progress. Um, they have their own restrictions and they have their own niyamas or observances. For example, in Bhakti Yoga, we have restrictions like no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sexual relationship outside marriage. So this is our restrictions, because they create intense, huge karma and bind us back to this material world. That's why they are restriction. Likewise, Ashtanga Yogi have their own restrictions. No stealing, uh, no lying, झूठ नहीं बोलना है. So like that, they have their five restrictions and they have their five niyamas. One of the niyama is brahmacharya, um, completely free from sex life. That's why we see only renunciates. They renounce everything and go to the mountain. Only those are the people who actually perform Ashtanga Yoga. So they have their own restrictions and their own things to follow. Those are qualifying step to move in that direction. And then they have asana postures, like many of you may have heard about asanas, different yoga asanas. The purpose of yoga asanas is to control the body, um, and the demands of the body. Then they have pranayama. Pranayama is breathing exercises. Um, um, Pranayama, it is said that breath is the king of mind. Breath has a direct control with the mind, direct relationship with the mind. So we all can may have tried that when we do pranayam for 10-15 minutes also, the mind becomes very peaceful, um, very peaceful. So the body is controlled through asanas and the mind is controlled through pranayama. And once we have attained that stage, then we perform pratyahara. Pratyahara is when we withdraw the senses from the object of the senses. When the mind is uncontrolled, then we cannot focus on the Lord in our heart. So mind has to be controlled, and we must withdraw mind and senses and the body from all the objects of sense gratification. So, Asana Pranayama helps to attain that state of consciousness that we no longer become attracted to sense objects, and then we can go more inward. And then there is dharana, where you try to focus on the Lord in your heart. Dhyana, where you can meditate for a longer time. And samadhi is a state of consciousness, state of perfection, where you can see the Lord as it is in a four-handed Vishnu form in your heart. In the stage of dharana, it's more like a mental imagination of the form of the Lord in the heart. And understand seeing us as a spirit soul and the Lord as a super soul in the heart. But samadhi is a state where you can actually see the Lord. It is said that even when we imagine the form of the Lord in our heart, because we are serving it as a supreme Lord, the Lord reciprocate in that way. Like it is not different from serving the Lord in truth also. This is explained by Krishna to Uddhav. Uddhav said, "My Lord, after you disappear, how will I serve you?" And Krishna says, "Well, you can serve me in my deity form. And you can make the deity out of wood, out of stone, out of metal, out of mud, out of diamonds or navratnas, etc. And eight forms mentioned. One of them is you can worship me out of a form made in your mind. That is also very authentic form of worshipping the Lord. So these are the 8 steps. They are meant to help us realize the Supreme Lord in our heart. Ashtanga Yoga is not a process for this age. It is recommended. Uh, if you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there are few chapters explaining the supremacy of chanting over meditation. Um, there is one example given of Gop Kumar. Gop Kumar was given a Gopal mantra, and Gop Kumar desired to go to Tapalok, where all the sages perform meditation. By the blessing of the Gopal mantra, he was allowed to enter into Tapalok. In the Tapalok, Gop Kumar saw there were sages sitting down in meditation, and Gop Kumar, copying them, also sat down in meditation. But although he's trying to meditate, he doesn't know what to do. So although all those sages are seeing something in their meditation, Gop Kumar is not getting any benefit from it. And Gop Kumar is simply trying and struggling and no idea what to do. And finally, he was very dissatisfied. And Gop Kumar, then he went to Brahmalok also, still dissatisfied. Then the 4 Kumaras who were helping Gop Kumar told him the best place to fulfill all your spiritual desire is Mathura Vrindavan. You should go back there. And Gop Kumar went there, and then there were some chanting of the names of the Lord going on. And Gop Kumar, when he heard the chanting of the names of the Lord, Gop Kumar became ecstatic. And the 4 Kumaras said, "See, this is the practical experience. Although you were sitting amidst people who were doing meditation, you had no experience. It didn't help you at all. Um, but when you are um, in Mathura, where devotees are chanting the names of the Lord, uh, your heart is becoming filled with spiritual ecstasy. By their influence, this is happening. Imagine the power of chanting. Certainly, then the 4 Kumaras speak. Certainly, the power of meditation is way more than the power of chanting is way more than the power of meditation. In fact, chanting is the means to experience the deepest meditation. These people, through the medium of chanting, are doing perfect meditation on the Lord, on the qualities of Lord, on the leelas of the Lord. And they are not only experiencing ecstasies themselves, anybody around them is also experiencing. So there is a many chapters, many verses describing the supremacy of chanting over meditation. So this particular yoga, which is Ashtanga yoga, the goal goes only up to meditation. Um, and as we also see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kritaya Dhyato Vishnu, this meditation method is not so effective. Uh, that's why it's recommended in Sat Yoga, because people can do that for 60,000 years, and then they can attain perfection. It takes a long time. So this is recommended only for Satya Yoga. Other yogas, it won't be effective. So Krite Dhyato Vishnu. Treta Yam Yujato Mukai. In Treta Yoga, you perform ritualistic sacrifices. Dwapare Paricharyayam. In Dwapar Yoga, you perform worship of the deities. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtan. In Kali Yoga, just do Hari Kirtan. Nothing else works in Kali Yoga. The mind is so restless. The body is so agitated, can't even sit in one posture for 2 hours. Everything is a cause of disturbance. Banda sumanda mata manda bhage upadrita. Everyone is very disturbed, unfortunate, short-lived. So only Hari Kirtan. In Hari Kirtan, what you can achieve by doing meditation for 60,000 years, you can achieve through chanting the names of the Lord. Even a higher perfection of enters into Golok Vraj Dham, just by chanting for few years. So establishing again the process of japa meditation, chanting Kirtan, Hari Kirtan over meditation. So today only I was hearing this lecture on by Niranjan Swami. He was explaining the story of Gop Kumar. I was inspired. It was a live lecture today morning, 7:15 to 8:30 by Niranjan Swami. Okay, okay. So, modern, let me see how much time I have. I have 20 minutes. I think we should be able to cover. Most yoga disciplines nowadays are step 3 and 4 of Ashtanga Yoga. What these Americans and these people have done, they have taken the yoga and the asanas and pranayam from the Vedic culture, but they removed Vishnu from that. That is not good, because they were thinking that if we bring the spirituality, then not many people may be interested. So they kind of to grow their business and to gain popularity, they took only the third and fourth step. So that's all. But actually, yoga and meditation is actually meant to control the body and the mind, so that it can be used to meditate on the Lord in our heart. But if we control the body and the mind and there is no meditation on the Lord, then it's waste of time. I mean, we can keep ourselves fit little longer, we can have those health benefits. Good. That's not the purpose of yoga and meditation. You can run also and get the same benefit. You can do many things. So yeah, Hatha yoga and pranayam, this is what they have taken. Hatha yoga is basically yoga asanas. Hatha yoga and pranayam. Most yoga schools are variations of Ashtanga yoga. Okay, I would like a volunteer.
Practice yoga
Yes.
once secluded place and should lay butcher grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities.
So the process of Ashtanga yoga is described. Go to a secluded place, lay kusha grass. Kusha grass is considered very auspicious. Even if you attended our installation of Shishi, most glorious Shishi Nada Gopi Janavallabha, we bought kusha grass from India. It's so auspicious. So lay that grass on the ground, cover it with a deer skin. Deer skin has a chemical property which repels snakes and scorpions. Otherwise, the yogi will think maybe the snake will come and bite me, maybe scorpion will come. He will be fearful. So if you lay a deer skin, then the fear goes away. Then they don't come close. Thus, it should be neither too high nor too low. should be situated in a sacred place, like go to mountains and other places. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart. So there, here the goal of yoga is mentioned. The goal of yoga is not to not have heart attacks, to remain physically fit, to live longer life. But the goal of yoga is to purify the heart. This these Western people and other people who have taken yoga have removed. But the goal of yoga is to purify the heart by controlling the mind, senses, and activities. And how the heart becomes purified is mentioned here. I need one more volunteer.
Yes, Prabhu. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
Mm. So first principle, body, neck, and head erect in a straight line. Then stare steadily on the tip of the nose. So if you do that, then senses don't become agitated and you can focus on the Lord in the heart. Because if the eyes are all over the place, then we are gathering so much information and they will act as a disturbance. But if you're doing like this, then the senses becomes controlled. If you close your eyes, then one may fall asleep. That's why the practice given is like this. So body, neck, head erect and stare steadily on the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, because we are on deer skin, completely free from sex life, this is one of the niyamas. One should meditate upon me within the heart. The eyes are focusing on the tip of the nose, but the meditation is on Krishna within our heart. This is Krishna telling to Arjuna, meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. One time I was discussing with one Ashtanga yogi. He said, I do not believe in Bhakti Yoga. I only want to practice Ashtanga Yoga. Then I brought him and I said, let us read the 6th chapter, Prabhu. He read and he said, it's so surprising to me. Everything my school has taught me about Ashtanga Yoga is exactly what I am reading in Bhagavad Gita. Same process, same principles. But they have removed two things. One, free from sex life. They have removed that. Another, meditate on the Lord in the heart. They have removed that also. And just I said, Prabhu, it's like the essence is gone. It's like, rice. You took the rice and throw the rice and just husk remains. I said, it's exactly like that. What's the point? If you're not meditating on the Lord in your heart, you will never become pure. The purification does not come by sitting in a straight line and all these things. This is just to facilitate so we can meditate on the Lord in the heart. If that is missed, everything is gone. The whole purpose is gone. Then he said, yeah, I'm surprised how America has commercialized for their own purposes and business sake what seems to be so clear in the Vedic scriptures. I said that's why you should read from authentic scriptures instead of hearing from people who are business minded. Read Krishna's words. What is really Ashtanga Yoga? Okay, now a short video. One second. Sorry.
The Ashtanga Yoga process is outlined very specifically in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga does not mean going to some class, paying some money, engaging in gymnastics, and then returning home to drink, smoke, and engage in sex. Such yoga is practiced by societies of the cheaters and the cheated. The authoritative yoga system is here outlined by the supreme authority, Sri Krishna himself. 1. The first step is to select a very secluded and sacred place. Eightfold meditation cannot be performed in a fashionable city. The yogi often goes to a jungle to practice such meditation in solitude. But in a jungle, the yogi may think, maybe some tiger or snake is coming. What is that noise? In this way, his mind may be agitated. Therefore, it is especially stated that the yogi must be devoid of fear. A deer skin is especially recommended as a yoga asana because it contains a chemical property that repels snakes. Thus, the yogi will not be disturbed by serpents. 2. One has to sit in a straight line, holding one's body, neck, and head erect, and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Why is this? This is a method to help concentrate one's mind. 3. Then one should keep the vision of the eyes between the two eyebrows and concentrate on the tip of the nose with half-closed lids. One of the dangers of sitting in meditation and staring at the tip of one's nose is that one will fall asleep. As soon as one closes his eyes, it is natural to feel sleepy. Therefore, it is recommended that the eyes are half closed. Thus, it is said that one should look at the tip of his nose. With one's sight thus concentrated, the mind should be subdued and unagitated. 4. The breathing movement is restrained within the nostrils by neutralizing the up-moving and down-moving air within the body. By practice of such yoga, one is able to gain control over the senses, refrain from outward sense objects, and thus prepare oneself for liberation. 5. One should not eat too much or sleep too much. By being regulated in eating, sleeping, recreation, and work, a yogi should discipline his mental activities. 6. The yogi must also be completely free from engaging in sexual acts. If one indulges in sex, he cannot concentrate. Therefore, brahmacharya, complete celibacy, is recommended to make the mind steady. By practicing celibacy, one cultivates determination. Thus, refraining from sex enables one to be very determined and powerful. It is not necessary to do anything else. This is a secret people are not aware of. If you want to do something with determination, you have to refrain from sex, regardless of the process, be it Hatha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or whatever. Sex indulgence is not allowed. Sex is allowed only for householders who want to beget good children and raise them in Krishna consciousness. 7. One has to drive out the sense objects such as sound, touch, form, taste, and smell by the pratyahara process in yoga. 8. Thus completely devoid of material desires, one should focus the mind on the super soul. In this state, as a lamp in a windless place does not waver, The yogi whose mind is controlled should remain always steady in his meditation on Super Soul. 9. The Vishnu Murti is situated in one's heart, and meditation upon him is the object of yoga. 10. Thus practicing control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist attains to the kingdom of God, or the abode of Krishna, by cessation of material existence. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities. The yogi, whose mind is thus fixed on Vishnu or Krishna, attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness.
So, little more detail on the process of Ashtanga Yoga. We have 7 minutes. Let us see how far we go. Okay, one volunteer.
Yes, Prabhuji. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
So, Arjuna is telling when Krishna said the mind should be like a lamp in a windless place, not wavering and completely fixed on the Lord in the heart. Arjuna says, I cannot do it. He says it is impractical. Impractical means Krishna बोल रहे हो पर नामुमकिन है. Impractical means only in words it is possible. Now Krishna is said to have one of the best concentration on the planet. When Dronacharya asked Arjuna, first he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, see on the branch of the tree, do you see a bird? Yes, I see a bird. Do you see that tree? Yes, I see that tree. All right, move aside. Duryodhan, you come. Duryodhan, look at the branch of the tree. Do you see the bird? I see the bird. Do you see the tree? Do you see the tree branch? I see it. Do you see anything else? I see the sky. I see the clouds. I see the sun. All right, all right, all right. Move aside. Arjuna, you come. Look at the bird on the tree. Do you see the bird? No. Do you see the tree? No. Do you see the sky? No. Sun? No. What do you see? I see the eye of the bird. Basically, the eye, the eyes, the eye of the bird. What else do you see? I see the eye. Do you see anything else? I just see the eye. Shoot! And Arjuna shot the arrow right into the eye of the bird. It's not a real bird. Mm, it's a practice. It's a practice. Dhanur Vidya practice. It's a plastic bird kind of thing. So that Arjuna, with that kind of focus, he is telling to focus on the Lord in an undeviated way. 24 hours impossible, impractical, unendurable, because the mind is restless. Mind will go here and there, unsteady, does not stay at one place, always keep moving here and there. So this is Krishna's response. Asamshayam mahabaho manasturnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kauntaya vairagena cha griyate. This is the only verse mentioned in Bhagavad Gita which mentions by Krishna directly how to subdue the mind, how to control the mind. Now, one more volunteer.
The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
So Krishna is telling Asamshayam Mahabaho. No, sorry. I told the verse which is the next one. I didn't realize. This is a verse just before that. And Krishna is, and this is again still spoken by Arjuna on why it is impractical, and he is further explaining the mind is restless, goes here and there, turbulent. Uh, Turbulent means the moment um, the moment mind is told something which mind does not want to listen, mind becomes turbulent. Turbulent, turbulent means agitated. Like it can be as simple thing as you tell the mind today there is no food, no breakfast today. And if you are very attached to breakfast, mind will be like, why? I need it. I need breakfast. So it's turbulent. Obstinate. Obstinate means jiddi. Jiddi means it wants to do what it wants to do. And very strong. Oh Krishna, I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. It is more difficult to control the mind than controlling the wind. Who can control the wind? Who can control the wind? I heard 3 days back there was a cyclone in Mayapur. Who can control the cyclone? Who can control the wind? Arjun is telling it's more difficult to control the mind than controlling the wind because of these reasons. And this is the verse I was describing. I need one more volunteer.
Lord Sri Krishna says, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice, sadhana, and by detachment, neglect.
Okay, thank you. Asamshayam Mahabaho. Asamshayam, without a doubt, undoubtedly. Mahabaho, O son of Kunti, O Arjuna, without a doubt. Manas Durnigraham Chalam. Durnigraham, Graham means control. Durnigraham is very difficult to control. Doubtlessly Arjuna, Chalam. Chalam is restless. चलता रहता है, रुकता नहीं है, restless, keeps on running. Undoubtedly, O son of Kunti, O Arjuna, the mind is very difficult to control and is restless. Abhyasena to Kauntaya Vairagena Chagriyate. But by two things it can be controlled. What is that? Abhyas, practice, sadhana. Abhyas, sena tu kauntaya, vairagyena chagriyate. And by vairagya. Vairagya is renunciation, neglect, chagriyate. Cha, certainly, griyate, can be controlled. So, what are the two ways to control the mind? It is explained by our acharyas. When the mind goes towards the object of sense gratification, then one must tell himself, I am happy without it. I am okay without it. Those who are enjoying the sense gratification are not happy either ways. The only people who are happy are the devotees of the Lord. I am okay without it. So this is Vairagya. Vairagya means the mind says, I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. I am okay without it. So that is called Vairagya. Vairagya means a spirit of detachment. Although the mind becomes attached, artificially develop Vairagya. Eventually, by practice of Krishna consciousness and advancement, true Vairagya will come. But at that point of time, I am okay without it. The thought may come back after 2 hours. Again, Vairagya. I don't need it. I don't want it. Instead of lamenting, oh, I wish I could have it, I don't want it. You are taking a conscious choice of Vairagya. This is one thing. But then if you say, I don't want it, then what do? You have to give mind a positive engagement. That positive engagement is mentally chant the names of the Lord. That is called abhyas. Abhyas means practice. Practice in Sanskrit is called sadhana. That will give a positive engagement to the mind. Just for example, you are driving and mind says, chick, 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 I want it, I want it, I want to enjoy, I want to enjoy, I want to enjoy. Internally, my Lord, please help me to overcome these thoughts. And when the mind is tormenting us and presenting and becoming uncontrollable, then inside the mind you keep on Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You are giving a mind a positive engagement. You are meditating on the Lord, and you are bringing the mind from the object of sense gratification. So you are expressing vairagya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the moment the meditation on Lord becomes fixed in a minute or two, the strong inclination of the mind toward the object of sense gratification will immediately be neutralized. Just like a balloon, if you meditate on the object of sense gratification, it keeps on expanding, becomes very, very big. And then you take a needle and poke it, then everything is like diffused. Likewise, the strong desire of attachment and thought will be diffused the moment you bring Krishna into the picture. कृष्ण सूर्य सा माया होय अंधकार, जहाँ कृष्ण तहाँ नहीं माया अधिकार. जहाँ Krishna, तहाँ नहीं माया अधिकार. Maya has no adhikar where Krishna is there. Why? Krishna Surya sa. Krishna is like the sun. Maya hoy andhakar. Maya is like dense darkness. Krishna Surya sa Maya hoy andhakar. Jaha Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar. So the moment Krishna comes into picture, Maya has no adhikar. She has no existence there. And that's how we control the mind. So two things. I'm okay without it. I don't want it. People who have it are neither happy also. And because there's a strong attachment, strong pull by Maya, immediately start meditating on Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar. So that's how we overcome the demand of the mind. 1104. Okay. This is the last verse. Can someone volunteer?
From from whenever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
Thank you, Sridhar Prabhu. So wherever the mind wanders, because it's nature of the mind, restless, keeps on wandering, bring it back onto the control of the self. For bhakti yogis, onto the name of the Lord. Bring it back, and even while chanting, the mind goes here and there. Bring it back and focus on the names, and everything over time, the life will become perfect. So I am done for today. We will discuss EASY. We discuss enemy or friend, the mind. We discuss the story of Putana, who came as a friend, but her intention was to kill Krishna. Likewise, the mind comes as a friend, but his intention is to take us away from Krishna. So we discussed that story in detail. And then Ashtanga Yoga, we saw the rules and regulations and how to practice and what's the goal to purify the heart, what's the process by meditating on the Lord in the heart. And we saw the video how to do it, and we saw Arjuna's response, just like a windless lamp, you should be so steady. Arjuna said, I cannot do it. Then Krishna says, well, it's just principles mentioned in this chapter for Ashtanga Yoga applied to the process of Bhakti Yoga as well. So we are done for today. Would anyone has any question or comment, or should we end it?
Prabhuji, I have 3 questions.
Okay, very quickly.
Yes, Prabhuji, just short questions.
Okay.
Prabhuji, in the sanskara, you said positive sanskara and negative sanskara, right? So in negative sanskaras, it's miseries in the past. But can it be possible, like the person has performed something negative and he could get the results, like maybe in the future? Can we call that negative sanskara also?
Means he has done some sinful activity in the past.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so karma is born from that, na?
Yes, so that can be also called negative sanskara, right?
That will be negative samskara, yes. Anything
Okay.
we have done in the past, it has two reaction. One reaction it has is it increases our inclination to perform the sinful act again, and that is a negative samskara. Okay.
Okay. And my second question is, in the chariot of life, you said like three things: uncontrolled mind, controlling mind via my material intelligence, and controlling mind via spiritual intelligence. So can there be persons like having controlling mind with spiritual and material both at a time?
Yes, but then uh, we will become like Indra, or
Okay.
it's called mixed devotional service, where we are
Okay.
cultivating material desire and performing bhakti yoga.
Mm-hmm.
In case of, okay, now we may have material desires, and we agree we do have, uh, but we are willing to try to not act on them and try to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Although they are there, we know this is not good for me, I should not have it, and I'm working to get rid of it. That is okay. That's an interim stage that will come. What is not recommended is I have this material desire, I'm performing bhakti, but I will do bhakti, that is all right, but I need this also, and I'll work for my material desires. That is not good.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. That adds another like if a person is having material desires, but like he doesn't desire it for himself, but he also has spiritual intelligence. So is that a different thing? Like we can take an example like if a
Yes.
person, yeah, if a person is earning a lot of money, but he likes to like, he likes to help the needy ones, and he give all his earnings, he doesn't spend on himself, or he doesn't have any, like I'll make big bungalows, I'll buy so many cars, but he have material desire to earn money, but he has a spiritual intelligence also. So is that also included in the
Now it is
material?
recommended to not cultivate that desire of um, going through a lot of material endeavors at the cost of developing one's own relationship with Krishna in the name of helping, because that is considered a trick of material energy also, because it deviates us from our strong inclination to actually develop a relationship with Krishna. In one lecture I heard, rather than uh, saving others and helping others, first one must try to save himself or herself, and or shelter, etc. Krishna will fulfill your desire because Krishna is sitting in your heart. Krishna, I am audible?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Krishna will fulfill your desire. Anyways, the only thing within the scope of living entity is a desire. Like Srila Prabhupada, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Janma sartha kari karo paropkar. First perfect your life, and then serve others. So our real dharma is to first save ourselves, protect our life. If you have desire, Krishna will use you as an instrument to do great things in this world. But first help yourself. Does it help?
Yes, Prabhuji. And just last question about the mind. Does is there any stage that comes when mind is always a friend and never an enemy.
Yeah, pure devotees. Their mind is always
A friend.
absorbed in Krishna and in thoughts, and it is said, as you advance, Krishna willing, you will be so attracted to Krishna that um, you will have difficulty sleeping in the night also because you like Krishna, Krishna.
Yeah,
So
because this is happening with me probably since last 10 days. Like even without my alarm buzzes at 4:30 in the morning. But nowadays, like from last 10 days, sharp like 4 o'clock without alarm, I get up for chanting. It's like, I don't understand. So I had that doubt.
yeah,
So is there now I don't need the alarm also, like before time I wake up and it's like, oh, I have to chant, and like, oh, we have a group japa class and this that. So that was a doubt.
I would say it is Krishna's mercy. Treasure it and pray to Krishna, my Lord. Please keep helping me to go forward.
Okay.
It is mercy of the Lord. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much for joining and discussing this transcendental subject matter together. My obeisances to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.